Everybody's been saying that the star system has disappeared, that they don't manufacture stars anymore. But you're proof of the contrary. You've been kept under wraps for about 2 years now to be groomed for stardom. What is the process like?
Well, it's a very strenuous one, I must say.
Macaulay Culkin rose to fame with the 1990 hit Home Alone, and by the early 90s was considered the world's top child star. But the pressures of sudden fame, the failure of films such as Richie Rich, and his close association with the increasingly bizarre Michael Jackson all took their toll. And by the mid-90s, Culkin had conspicuously disappeared from acting, only returning to the big screen after nearly a decade.
Oh, it hasn't been that difficult to stay away. It was very I basically got to a point in my life where I didn't want to do it anymore. And once I got to that point where I had that freedom to say, I don't want to do it, I stopped doing it altogether.
And who can forget Drew Barrymore, making it big in Spielberg's E.T. back in 1981, only to be drinking alcohol by 11 and moving on to regular cocaine use by the age of 13. A suicide attempt at 14 showed those around her she needed help, and the child star was subsequently checked into rehab. Britney Spears' problems hardly need to be highlighted, but it's easy to forget that the singer originally found fame alongside Christina Aguilera and Justin Timberlake on Disney's Mickey Mouse Club, aged just 11. Following drug problems, divorces, and several stints in rehab, it looks, however, like a fresh-faced Britney may have put her wild child ways well and truly behind her. Coming in at number 1 is the definitive child star gone bad Lindsay Lohan, whose brushes with the law seem a long way away from the cute girl who burst onto our screens in 1998's The Parent Trap.
When I first got out of the limo just now, I was nervous. But I'm more excited than nervous.
Lohan's rap sheet includes various driving violations, car crashes, and sporadic drug use, and numerous stints in treatment centers have hardly helped her image.
Corey Feldman has no idea what it's like not to be famous. He was just 3 years old in this McDonald's commercial.
McDonald's gift certificates.
I literally was famous before I knew my own name.
His roles defined the 80s. Goonies.
This was my dream, my wish.
Stand By Me.
You call my dad a loony again, and I'll kill you.
License to Drive.
The only difference between you and that greaseball is that he has a license and you don't.
Films that propelled him into the spotlight for his entire youth. But being famous so young, he says, caused serious damage to him and his friends.
Do you feel like you missed out on a normal childhood?
What childhood? I don't know what that means.
A lost childhood and a loss of innocence. He blames the adults, not just those looking to profit from charming children, but also some with far more sinister motives.
I can tell you that the #1 problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
The casting couch even applies to children.
Oh yeah. I literally was famous before I knew my own name.
Do you feel like you missed out on a normal childhood?
What childhood? I can tell you that the #1 problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia, pedophilia, pedophilia.
Keira Christina Knightley was born in Teddington, London on March 26, 1985. Her father is actor Will Knightley and her mother is playwright Sharman MacDonald. Finally let her audition for roles when she turned 6. Her first part came as Angela in the British TV show A Royal Celebration.
Born on June 9, 1981 as Natalie Hirschlag in Jerusalem, Israel, her family relocated to the United States when she was only 3 years old. There, she took dance lessons from age 4 and performed in local troupes. Ambitious and career-minded at a young age, she attended theater camps and earned a role as an understudy in the off-Broadway show Ruthless. In 1994, she took her grandmother's maiden name for her stage identity and landed her premiere role in the film Leon.
Gwyneth Kate Paltrow was born on September 27, 1972. Her mother is Tony Award-winning actress Blythe Danner, and her father is late Hollywood producer Bruce Paltrow. Her younger brother Jake is also a director and screenwriter.
Demetria Devon Lovato was born August 20th, 1992, and made her first television appearance as Angela on the children's show Barney and Friends.
Born in New York City on April 4th, 1965, he was influenced to take up acting at a young age by his parents, who were both film performers. By the time he was 10, he had already appeared in 2 of his father's films and had been sent overseas to study classical ballet.
Kate Elizabeth Winslet was born October 5th, 1975, and began studying acting at age 11 at the Red Roofs Theater School. She got her first taste of showbiz when she starred in a television commercial for Sugar Puff cereal. Kristen James Stewart was born April 9th, 1990 in Los Angeles, California. With 2 parents in showbiz, Stewart started as an extra, but soon moved to bigger roles, with her first speaking part in the 2001 indie production, The Safety of Objects.
Born on November 11, 1974, DiCaprio first began his career as a child actor by appearing in several commercials and educational films.
Kesha Rose Siebert was born March 1st, 1987. Her mother, singer-songwriter P.B. Siebert. P.B. negotiated a songwriting deal and they relocated to Nashville. She was encouraged to sing and write music. Producers Dr. Luke and Max Martin convinced Kesha to drop out of school and return to LA to begin a music career.
First up is a woman whose name you know, a woman you have watched in movies since she was a little girl. And yet, I will bet you can't tell me 3 personal things about her.
Scarlett Johansson, 9. I've got $67.08.
That'll get you to New York. Where are you going to go after that?
Someplace where I don't have to go to moron school. Would you forget about the stupid game? Now close it up and put it away. Must have microchips in it or something.
Peter Gene Hernandez was born October 8th, 1985. He was brought up in a musical household and began appearing on stage with his family when he was 4.
At 18 years of age, Alanis has done what many artists achieve in later years, and it all started at the ripe age of 3.
You know, that represented everything I could ever want from that time on.
Christine, these cowboy boots are killing me.
Well, Alistair, all the girls will go for you.
Yeah.
I have to admit, you don't look bad at all.
Now I feel like I'm walking on air.
Emma Watson was born April 15th, 1990, and at age 6, she started to study singing, acting, and dancing at the Stagecoach Theatre Art School. Just 3 years later, at age 9, she was cast as Hermione Granger in the film series adaptation of Harry Potter.
See here, everyone! Miss Granger's done it! Splendid!
Do you feel like you missed out on a normal childhood?
What childhood? I don't know what that means.
Kept under wraps for about 2 years now to be groomed for stardom.
Do you feel like you missed out on a normal childhood?
What childhood? I don't know what that means.
Under wraps for about 2 years now, groomed for stardom.
I can tell you that the #1 problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia.
Under wraps for about 2 years now to be groomed for stardom.
Do you feel like you missed out on a normal childhood?
What childhood? I don't know what that means.
You've been kept under wraps for about 2 years now to be groomed for stardom.
I literally was famous before I knew my own name. I literally was famous before I knew my own name.
To be groomed for stardom.
Why do some artists who have a certain amount of talent, some not very much, why do they get picked up by the corporations to become these big influencers of young people and other people through the entertainment and the music industry, and others with incredible talent never get off the ground? It's because they are chosen.
Of the idea that became their America and ours first saw light on a Hollywood screen. It was largely the product of 6 movie studios established in the 1920s and run for over 30 years by a group of Jewish immigrants. They came with little money and few belongings, but they brought with them a new vision of America. Hollywood was a dream dreamt by Jews.
One could say that the American dream was really born in Eastern Europe.
These guys were ruthless. They used women. They treated stars brutally sometimes.
Why do I run it? Because I got horse sense, goddammit. Showmanship! And also, I hope who told you this, I am bigger and meaner and louder than any other kike in this town. Did you tell him that, Lou? And I don't mean my dick is bigger than yours. It's not a sexual thing, although you're the writer. You know more about that. Coffin?
From beginning to end, the executive had the primary input into the picture and supervised every aspect of production, over and above the fact that beyond any individual picture, it was the executive who created the entire studio apparatus. Every producer who worked there, every director who worked there, every writer who worked there, and every star who worked there was part of the larger system that was created by the Hollywood Jews. They created their own America, an America which is not the real America. It's their own version of the real America. But ultimately, this shadow America becomes so popular and so widely disseminated that its images and its values come to devour the real America. But ultimately, this shadow America becomes so popular and so widely disseminated that its images and its values come to devour the real America.
Cynthia Nixon had an interview with New York Times Magazine, and during that interview, she says that she decided to be a lesbian. She wasn't born that way, which is a very controversial stance to take on the gays. So here's what she told the magazine. She says, I gave a speech recently, an empowerment speech to the gay audience, and it included the line, I've been straight and I've been gay and gay is better. And they tried to get me to change it because they said it implies that homosexuality can be a choice. And for me, it is a choice. I understand for many people it's not, but for me, it's a choice, and you don't get to define my gayness for me.
I just have a couple of questions. Mr. Gray will see you now. Do you have any interests outside of work?
What about you? I'd like to know more about you.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. How am I supposed to be dead?
I don't do romance.
Don't. I have to travel.
My tastes are very singular.
You aren't going anywhere. Understand? When I get to play characters that are so far from who I am, it's just fun, you know? I get to come to work every day and literally, like, become somebody else completely.
I don't do romance.
Hello, Boo.
Hi, sweetheart. Howard?
Grateful to you.
My tastes are very singular.
I didn't tell him anything. I just wanted you to know that. And I wanted to see you.
I don't do
So I could tell you.
You don't say anything. I love you too.
For referring me to your...
My tastes are very singular.
When I get to play characters that are so far from who I am, it's just fun, you know? I get to come to work every day and literally, like, become somebody else completely.
But ultimately, this shadow America becomes so popular and so widely disseminated
Section of the vast
that its images and its values
Definitely not.
come to devour the real America.
So why the vasectomy?
I hate the rubbers.
Angelina Jolie opens up about going through a double mastectomy. The actress told her own story in an op-ed column for the New York Times. Angelina explained the reason she decided to go public with her medical choice, saying, quote, I'm writing about it now because I hope that other women can benefit from my experience.
In our morning rounds, the Angelina effect. Angelina Jolie told the world in a New York Times piece that she carries a genetic mutation and underwent a double mastectomy. In the 6 months that followed, doctors at one Canadian clinic say the number of women who got tested for the condition more than doubled.
What's the bad side?
The bad side is absolutely there's a lot of anxiety related to this, and women do go understanding that there's really only a very small proportion of women that this gene actually affects. So a lot of women are rushing into their doctors with anxiety about the fact that they may or may not have this gene that really only applies to a very, very small proportion of people.
Yeah.
But ultimately, this shadow America becomes so popular and so widely disseminated that its images and its values come to devour the real America.
She's known the world over as the ultimate single girl. But actor and producer Sarah Jessica Parker is fundamentally different from her famous character, Sex and the City's Carrie Bradshaw.
There's no mention of family in Carrie's life. I mean, purposefully, we chose to not talk about the past.
But another breaking story this morning just overnight, and it's coming in the New York Times. Angelina Jolie revealing overnight that she has had preventive surgery to remove her ovaries after doctors discovered a possible sign of early cancer.
She wanted to share her experiences to let women who have a family history of cancer know that they do have options. 2 weeks ago, the results of a blood test revealed possible early signs of ovarian cancer. Jolie says that while this surgery was less complex than the double mastectomy, its effects are more severe, putting her into forced menopause. Jolie writes, "I will not be able to have any more children, and I expect some physical changes. But I feel at ease with whatever will come, not because I am strong, but because this is a part of life." Jolie acknowledges that while it's impossible to remove the entire risk of getting cancer, she remains hopeful about her health and her future.
But ultimately, this shadow America becomes so popular and so widely disseminated that its images and its values come to devour the real America.
Most people still today think that all entertainment is therefore nothing more than entertainment. It never ever was that case.
Every director who worked there, every writer who worked there, and every star who worked there was part of the larger system that was created by the Hollywood Jews. They created their own America, an America which is not the real America. It's their own version of the real America. But ultimately, this shadow America becomes so popular and so widely disseminated that its images and its values come to devour the real America.
I'm just happy to be in the game. You know, I've just been working so hard, you know, since I was 7 years old to get to this point.
7?
Yeah. I was one of those little child actor kids.
Did you feel, how do you feel about all that? Because we have child actors on all the time, and some of them are okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. You know, it was a great training ground for me for what I was going to do later in life. You know?
But ultimately, this shadow America becomes so popular and so widely disseminated that its images and its values come to devour the real America. But ultimately, this shadow America becomes so popular and so widely disseminated that its images and its values come to devour the real America. But ultimately, this shadow America becomes so popular and so widely disseminated that its images and its values come to devour the real America.
A 19-year-old college student by the name of Mohammed Hussein in Chicago has been arrested for sexual assault. That when he got caught, he stated to police that he was reenacting a scene from 50 Shades of Grey. The alleged Saturday night rendezvous was with a fellow freshman with whom he'd previously been intimate but was not dating. Prosecutors say that after asking her to undress in his dorm room, he proceeded to tie her hands above her head to the bed with a belt, bind her legs with another belt, stuff her mouth with a tie, cover her eyes with a knit cap, and strike her repeatedly with another belt, even after the woman said, "No, stop, and you're hurting me." The woman tried to escape several times, but at that point he held her down and sexually assaulted her.
Superfan Carolyn Anderson from Liverpool loves her Baywatch idols so much, she's dedicated her life and career to looking like her. She spent thousands of pounds on surgery and has even changed her surname to Anderson.
So what was really disturbing is that we found a lot of hypersexuality of the female characters in even television and movies aimed at little kids. For example, in G-rated animated films, the female characters wear the same amount of sexually revealing clothing as the female characters in R-rated movies, which is pretty horrifying. I mean, what are we putting that much sexuality and hypersexuality into things aimed at the littlest kids for? There was research that just came out that showed that girls as young as 6 years old have started to self-sexualize. In other words, they have started seeing themselves through the male gaze and realizing that they need to be sexy in order to be appreciated at 6 years old. And this is a very new development. We knew that women and teenage girls were doing that. So clearly the culture is sending a very negative message to girls and to boys about girls when the female characters are constantly shown in this sexy light.
The audience should think that you are nude.
No one ever wants to hear the word nude associated with their 10-year-old, ever.
So much for being conservative. Well, excuse me? I think I didn't hear that.
I don't want to be naked on stage.
Now, this is a famous routine that was, I know, that's why you can get away with it. Hide and look over there, over there. I'm hot, I'm mean, you can't have me, you can't afford me. It's crotch boobs.
How is this going to fit me? My outfit was pretty tiny. I could fit this on my American Doll.
The idea with the fan dance is that you cover your body with the fans. So you give the illusion that you're nude underneath the fans. These mothers need to stop questioning me. What I do works.
Those are crazy.
These mothers need to stop questioning me. What I do works. These mothers need to stop questioning me. What I do works. These mothers need to stop questioning me. What I do works.
I'm Christina Hartman for AOL News Now. In honor of itty bitty bikini weather, Abercrombie is offering up a swimsuit for children with some very grown-up features. The retail giant, no stranger to pushing the envelope, has parents outraged over its new spring line.
Take this new release from Abercrombie Kids. It's a push-up bikini top with padded cups crafted to create the appearance of a larger chest. And the target market, tweens as young as 8 years old.
Parenting expert Dr. Janet Rose says, if a parent buys a padded bikini for an 8-year-old, children's services should be called. The sexualization of teens is bad enough, and now this trend is trickling down to our babies. An LA-based psychologist says, wearing a padded bra at that age is encouraging sexual precociousness, a dangerous muscle to flex for the girl as well as for peers and predators.
Every director who worked there, every writer who worked there, and every star who worked there was part of the larger system that was created by the Hollywood Jews. They created their own America, an America which is not the real America. It's their own version of the real America. But ultimately, this shadow America becomes so popular and so widely disseminated that its images and its values come to devour the real America.
the one who make it in the neighborhood. Her life is relevant in Hollywood. How could it hurt you when you look so good? I lost my memory in Hollywood. I had a million visions, bad and good. There's something in the air in Hollywood. I tried to leave it, but I never could. Shine your light now. This time it's got to be good. You get it right now, yeah. 'Cause you're in Hollywood. 'Cause you're in Hollywood. You're in Hollywood. Shine your light now. Everybody comes to Hollywood, the one who make it in the neighborhood. Her life is relevant in Hollywood. How could it hurt you?
I think I'm just speaking out for women in the way, just be yourself.
To trust your own instincts, no matter what people might say about you, no matter what criticism or what negativity might come your way, but just being who you are and just being yourself, it's so important.
Be yourself. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't achieve your dreams.
I want to do everything I can to protect them because some of them are very troubled and insecure.
What I care about is if there's a kid at home somewhere that needs a friend and needs someone to look up to, that needs a record and a song.
Go yourself! Go yourself!